New John Deere tractor sales are down 8.8% in the first quarter of 2026, while used late-model John Deere prices climbed 12.5% in the same period. When buyers are paying more for a 10-year-old machine than they are willing to pay for the brand-new one sitting on the dealer lot, that is not a market signal. That is a verdict. This is Farm Gear Pro. Today we are breaking down exactly what the financial data, the auction numbers and the trade-in reality say about where John Deere stands in 2026 and where the harvest is actually going. Let's get into it. Start with the profit picture because this is where the real story begins. 3 years ago, in fiscal 2023, John Deere posted record net income of $10.166 billion, the most profitable year in the company's 187-year history. John Deere, FY 2023, record net income, $10.166 billion, most profitable year in 187-year history. Net income fell to approximately $7.1 billion in fiscal 2024, a 30% drop from that record, followed by a further decline to approximately $5 billion in fiscal 2025. That is roughly half the company's peak earnings gone in 2 years, and the company's own guidance for the current period does not project a rebound. It projects more decline specifically in the production and precision agriculture division, the tractors and combines, the machines farmers actually know. Fiscal 2025 net income, approximately $5 billion, roughly half the peak in 2 years, more decline projected. The most recent quarterly report showed the production and precision ag division, the core farm equipment business, with sales down 14% and operating profit down nearly 40%. That number deserves to sit for a moment. The division that built John Deere's name across American agriculture saw operating profit fall 40% in a single quarter. The headline looked acceptable to Wall Street only because the construction and forestry division posted sales up 29% with operating profit up 48%. Concrete and steel carrying what the farm business could not. Production and precision ag. Sales down 14%. Operating profit down nearly 40%. Core farm division, 1 quarter. A farmer does not buy a John Deere because of how the excavator line performed in some construction yard. He buys it to plant and harvest, and the planting and harvesting business is the specific division that is falling fastest. Now the used market signal, because this is where the trade-in and resale reality exposes what is actually happening at the operator level. New tractor sales down 8.8%. While used late-model prices climb 12.5%. In the same quarter means buyers are actively choosing older iron over new iron. Not because they cannot afford new, but because the older machine delivers something the new one does not. New tractor sales down 8.8%, used late-model prices up 12.5%, same quarter. Buyers choosing older iron deliberately. At a major farm show this spring, a new flagship tractor carried a sticker price of $1.3 million. And operators standing in front of that machine were calculating whether they could fix it themselves if it faulted during the first week of planting. The answer on a current generation John Deere for most independent mechanics is no. Not fully, not without dealer software authorization that runs on the manufacturer's schedule and the manufacturer's pricing. That calculation is why used pre-software John Deere iron is trading at premiums at Ritchie Brothers and Big Iron that would have been implausible 5 years ago. Used pre-software John Deere. Trading at premiums. Ritchie Brothers and Big Iron. Implausible 5 years ago. When the used market prices a 10-year-old machine above what depreciation math would predict, the buyer is paying a premium specifically to avoid the features the new machine added. Before we go further, if Farm Gear Pro is giving you the straight financial coverage you have been looking for, hit subscribe right now. We cover this every week. Real earnings data, real auction results, real trade-in analysis. No manufacturer involved in what we conclude. Hit like and share with any operator currently making a major equipment decision. Back to it. Now the lockout reality, because this is the operational explanation behind every trade-in and resale number discussed above. For years, operators documented that a John Deere throwing a fault code during harvest could only be cleared by a dealer technician with proprietary software access, not by the farmer, not by an independent mechanic, regardless of how straightforward the underlying fault actually was. John Deere, fault code, dealer technician required, proprietary software, not the farmer, not independent mechanic. On April 7, 2026, a $99 million class action settlement received preliminary court approval, with John Deere agreeing to provide farmers 10 years of access to diagnostic tools covering repairs going back to January 2018. The company had already rolled out a paid diagnostic access service the summer before, $195 per year per machine, that finally allowed farmers and independent shops to read and clear codes, reprogram, and calibrate their own equipment. What that $195 annual fee and that $99 million settlement confirmed together is that the lockout was real the entire time. Real enough to generate a 9-figure legal settlement. Real enough that the courts still have an active federal antitrust case running alongside it. $195 per year per machine. Diagnostic access. What the settlement confirms. Lockout was real the entire time. The FTC filed a separate antitrust lawsuit against John Deere in January 2025 under the Sherman Act over these exact repair practices, and a federal judge refused to dismiss the case in June 2025. Useberg estimates that repair restrictions across all equipment manufacturers cost American farmers approximately $4.2 billion per year, and John Deere is the brand name that comes up first in that conversation at every co-op and elevator across the Corn Belt. That $4.2 billion annual figure is what the trade-in premium on older pre-software iron is actually pricing in. Buyers are paying to escape the cost that number represents. Useberg estimate, repair restrictions, $4.2 billion annually, American farmers, all manufacturers. John Deere named first. Now the layoff and production shift reality. Because this is the element that turned financial frustration into genuine brand relationship damage. Between October 2023 and September 2025, John Deere shed more than 3,500 jobs across its Iowa and Illinois facilities. Waterloo, Davenport, Dubuque, East Moline, and Ottumwa all absorbed cuts across multiple rounds. In 2026, John Deere announced approximately 610 additional layoffs across Midwest facilities as it shifts production of certain loaders to a new plant in Ramos, Mexico, expected to open by the end of the year. John Deere, 2026. 610 additional layoffs, production shifting to Ramos, Mexico. Plant expected open end of year. The record profit year was 2023. The layoffs came during and immediately after that record year, meaning this was not a company fighting to survive a downturn. It was a company at its richest historical moment, deciding it could operate without the workers who produced those results. CEO John May has stated publicly that he expects software to represent 10% of company revenue by 2030. Industry analysts estimate software carries approximately 85% gross margin against roughly 25% on actual farm equipment. And that margin gap explains every strategic decision John Deere has made since 2015, more clearly than any press release the company has issued. CEO John May, software. 10% of revenue by 2030, software 85% gross margin, equipment 25% gross margin. The strategic logic is documented openly. Sell the iron once, then charge for access to the iron indefinitely through subscriptions, software, and dealer-gated services. Now where the harvest is actually going, because the corn and wheat still have to come off the field, and something is bringing it home. CLAAS, the German family-owned manufacturer headquartered in Haßwinkel, Westphalia, is showing up in American harvest fields in volumes that would have been unthinkable a decade ago, specifically through the Lexion combine line. CLAAS, German family-owned, Haßwinkel, Westphalia, Lexion combine, showing up in American harvest fields. CLAAS never went down the software lockout road. The Lexion is a machine the operator owns and operates without a remote kill switch, sitting over every working hour of the harvest season. The Ukraine incident made that kill switch visible in a way that could not be unseen. In 2022, Russian troops looted approximately 27 John Deere machines worth nearly $5 million from a dealership in occupied Melitopol, hauling them more than 700 miles into Chechnya. Every machine was remotely locked through GPS the moment the theft was confirmed. The combines and tractors sitting in Chechnya would not power on, disabled from Illinois across an entire continent. Melitopol, Ukraine, 2022. 27. John Deere machines looted, hauled 700 miles to Chechnya. Every machine remotely locked from Illinois. Farmers heard that story and understood it immediately. The same capability that locked stolen iron in Chechnya sits over every green machine in every American field, and it runs on the same platform that has been generating fault codes only dealers can clear. Now, the trade-in and resale decision framework that every serious operator needs to run before signing any equipment purchase agreement in 2026. A machine whose manufacturer is actively cutting domestic production jobs, shifting manufacturing to Mexico, facing an active federal antitrust case, and guiding its core farm division lower for a fourth consecutive year, is a machine whose brand trajectory affects resale value on a 5 to 10 year ownership cycle. Brand trajectory affects resale value, 5 to 10 year ownership cycle, not just the machine, the brand behind it. Resale value at trade-in time is not determined only by the machine's mechanical condition. It is determined by how many buyers are competing for that specific brand at that specific moment, which is directly tied to where that brand's market position is heading. CLAAS Lexion combines are showing strong demand in Pacific Northwest wheat country and across custom harvester fleets in Kansas and Nebraska, and strong demand for a brand's machines in the used market is what supports trade-in values at the other end of the ownership cycle. AGCO, headquartered in Duluth, Georgia, raised its guidance and its dividend in recent reporting, while John Deere lowered its farm division outlook in the same period. AGCO, Duluth, Georgia, raised guidance and dividend. John Deere lowered farm division outlook, same reporting period. Read those two trajectories side by side before making any 5-year equipment commitment, because the brand that is growing market share today is the brand whose used iron commands premium bids at auction in 2031. A Fendt unit selling at Sullivan Auctioneers in 2026 at a premium over comparable hour John Deere units is not a coincidence. It reflects the market pricing and the ownership experience difference between the two platforms across the previous 5 years. That premium is the auction lot converting every software lockout cost, every dealer trip charge, and every uncleared fault code into a dollar figure that comes directly out of the seller's trade-in value. Fendt auction premium over comparable hour John Deere, not coincidence. Market pricing and ownership experience difference. The operator making a purchase decision in 2026 who ignores resale trajectory and focuses only on day one sticker price is making a 5-year financial decision with 2 years of data. Run the complete model before any purchase. Annual debt service at current rates, projected fuel cost, realistic repair exposure under the current diagnostic access architecture, and projected trade-in value based on current auction trend data for that specific brand in your specific regional market. That 4-line model changes the purchase decision on a surprising share of current comparisons. And it is the model the dealer running the January financing special is hoping you do not complete before you sign. Complete model, debt service, fuel cost, repair exposure, projected trade-in value, 4 lines. Run all of them. Farm Gear Pro is going to keep tracking every quarterly earnings report, every auction result, and every legal development as this story moves through 2026 harvest season and beyond. Because the brand that is losing harvest business right now is losing it one trade-in at a time, and the farmers making those trade-in decisions are not angry, they are just doing math. Thanks for watching Farm Gear Pro. If you found this breakdown valuable, share it with a fellow farmer and comment below your thoughts on this topic. See you in the next one.